Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? My mom said, "Are you alive? I can't find you. Are you alive? Is crazy. Can you hear me now?" I think y'all should be able to at this point. It's the muted for me. Yes, y'all can hear me. Welcome, 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 welcome. I was saying hi, and that I'm trying to figure out how to get the comments to come from here to StreamYard. I don't know if I could do that. And then I'm just trying to get people in here. So make sure you share. I wish I could play some superhero music, but I can't. I don't know how to do that. I could see, let me see what StreamYard got. What kind of music they got in this hole. They got some little let's play lo-fi. They're coming in the room. Period. Hi, mommy. This kind of a banger. I'm about to freestyle. Hey, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's almost my birthday. We on live. Cause it's my birthday. Yeah. Oh, period. The things are coming in. Awesome. I got it to work. Now let me see something. Am I live in two places? Hold on. Let me stop the music. Let me turn the music off so I can see. I'm trying to do too many things at once. There we go. Period. Am I live in two places? Hold on. Because I'm not used to this. This ain't Twitter. This ain't Texas. Yes, I am live twice. Okay. That's weird. That's hella weird. But yeah, welcome, 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 welcome to those of you guys who are here. It's my birthday. I just wanted to get on here. Well, my birthday is technically Monday, but today is the day I'll be home. Tomorrow I'll be running around, going out to dinner, going to the spa. And then on my birthday proper, she's going to be in New York City with her father. And so I figured I would come on here, go live, celebrate. It's a couple things going on. First of all, it's June the 1st. So I'm kicking off my most recent series, um 25 Days of MJ, woo woo, which I have been tweeting about over on that platform. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about what we have planned tonight. And then I figured, excuse me, just for funsies, that we could do like a birthday Q&A or something like that. Y'all could ask me fun questions and I could answer. I don't think I'm gonna be on here super duper long, but I did just want to come on and say what's up and try to, be consistent. I want to try and be on YouTube a little bit more. And so the only way to get used to doing it is to do it more and more and more. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're just going to hang out. I could be anywhere in the world on this Saturday night, but I wanted to be here with you guys celebrating my birthday. So yeah, just pardon me as I'm figuring out how to work the doggone thing. Because I think I'm live twice. I think I did that on accident. So if you go to my YouTube, it's two different live streams, which is crazy. Oh, but it's none of y'all here. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me just see if I can get a couple more people in here. But make sure you like it. I see 9 people here, but I have 3 likes. Let's try and get that together at the same damn time. Amen. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I'm super duper excited to tell you guys about the stuff we have planned for 25 Days of MJ. Just you wait. Just give me 1 second. I can't type and talk at the same time. Period. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not that talented. I can't type and talk at the same time. But thanks y'all so much for pulling up. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So 25 days of MJ. I'll just go ahead and like start talking about that a little bit while I'm trying to pull up some of these visuals and while some more people come up in here. As y'all know, I have been doing MJ content for a hot minute now. I feel like I've been doing stuff really, really actively in the community for like going on 2 years now. Probably a year and a half solid. I've been like hardcore gunning and making content and trying to build community. And last year, what I did was we did just Memorial Week. So pretty much that week leading up to June the 25th, we did a couple of events. I remember I had like the quotes people were sending me in, their different thoughts about Michael's legacy and all that jazz. Um, we also did the history anniversary space, and we did a space on the actual 14th anniversary of Michael's passing. Um, and so that was super duper fun, and a little bit low key. And this year, I just kind of wanted to do it a little bit bigger, and just kind of lead up almost like 25 days of Christmas and do 25 days of MJ. I know that it can be tough for some people, coming up on the anniversary of the loss. And, I just thought it would be a fun thing to do to try and get us together to do something as a family. Now, obviously, like I said, my birthday is Friday and then not Friday, hello, Monday. And then I'm going to be going out of town later in the month, like closer to the 25th. So I'm not going to be doing events every damn day. Um, I'm surely not. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm not. But I will be trying to do some events around that travel. And then we do have a couple of daily things that are going on. Just type in something. There we go. Brr. So we have a couple daily things and we have some things that are going to be specific events. Okay, I think I'm done typing forever. That's awesome. I just put that in the Discord so that people can pull up so that they can't say that they missed it. Thanks everybody for being patient. So period. So this year we're going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get into the things. Not no slides, honey. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we're doing the 25 days of MJ, celebrating his legacy through music, fellowship, and fun. So some of these things are gonna be daily. So we do have the daily prompts. So for the next 25 days, every single day on Twitter and in the Discord, I am going to be posting just different questions. Today's question was, what is your favorite Michael Jackson short film? Which people have been answering obviously on Twitter and in the Discord. So that's going to be really fun. And like I said, every day I'll just kind of ask a different question, try to stimulate the people, and get some engagement from you guys. So I'll post that on Twitter and in the Discord, and I just ask that you guys quote it and just put the little 25 days of MJ hashtag. Let's try and get it popping. Let's let the people know across the land that we're celebrating King Michael. Purr. And so the next piece, I'll just kind of oh my god. Can y'all see me? I hope y'all can see me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get used to doing this. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some of the events that we're going to have going on, and then I'll get into kind of the big main deal. So for 25 days of MJ, we have a couple different things that we're going to do. So we have the daily prompts, like I said, that we're going to do on Twitter as well as on the Discord. And then we have the art challenge, which was put together by Beanbag. Shout out to Beanbag. Let me pull up Beanbag's full at name so I can get it right. Get it right. Period. Over on Twitter, their at name is Beanbag0509, just a phenomenal artist. And he put together this event. I think he did it first a couple years back. And so now we're doing it over again. So that's going to be 25 days of Michael. So for any of my artists, girlies, and boys and ladies and all of that, any of you who are artists and who want to do sort of a visual tribute to Michael. I cannot draw for the life of me. But for those of you, I'm trying to pull that up now. But for those of you who can draw, that is going to be a challenge that's going on. So every single day, I think it's based on music videos. So let me go ahead and switch over to that. Just forgive me because I've got a bunch of different tabs that I can share from. I feel like I'm at work because this is exactly what I do at work, share my screen all damn day. So for 25 days of Michael, every single day, you guys will pick a different music video and illustrate that. So today was The Way You Make Me Feel. Tomorrow, You Rock My World. The day after is Jam. And then working its way all the way up to the 25th. There has been some beautiful, let me close my DM chat, get out my business. There have been some beautiful pieces of art. This was beanbags today. This is so gorgeous. And just getting to see everybody's art styles has been really nice. People have put some really great stuff together. This is Blood Dance Floor. Let me keep going. I'll show y'all a couple more. Tape Fingertips, number one, Serious Effect, Leva. Put this one together. So definitely tap in if you can draw. That is going to be going on every single day. And you guys, that's going to be the 25 days of Michael hashtag. So make sure when you guys are looking for those that you look in there. So those are going to be the two things that are going to be going on daily as far as the 25 days of it all goes. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that's going to be happening otherwise. So we've got game night. Anybody who was here for Jackson January knows that we did a game night, which was super duper duper fun and super duper fetch and super duper festive. And we're going to be doing it again this year. Yasmin is going to be taking over that. So I don't know every single game that we're going to play. I do know one of the things that we're going to do, and I'll tell you later. But I know last time we did Jackson Jeopardy, we did Finish the Lyrics. We played a game of code names, and we also did some slideshow challenges, which I will come back to in a moment. But game night is definitely going to be happening. We're looking at doing game night the week after next. So like the week of the 10th, 11th, 12th. I'm getting dates together for everything. MJ Astronaut, I do have a date for. That is going to be the 15th. One of our very own he's my girl Erin. She is so good at astrology and so talented. I thought it would be really fun for anybody who's interested in that kind of thing for her to pull Michael's chart and kind of do a reading for us. And we can ask her some questions on some things that we are interested in knowing, like what are the placements that make Michael such a great performer, or let's talk about his love life and get into his Venus and Mars and stuff like that. I just find astrology so fascinating, and I know that a good deal of you guys do as well. And so I thought it would be super duper fun. Erin is so talented. She knows so much stuff about astrology. It's actually insane. And so I'm going to let her lead, but I think it could be pretty fascinating. And whether you're super duper into astrology like that or not, I think it'll be super duper fun. Then we're going to do this year in Hee history. This one was also Yasmin's idea, and I think she's going to be the one to host this one for the most part. Super duper excited for this one. In the last year, we've had so many fun things happen as a fandom. We got the Thriller documentary. We had the King of Style. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I mean, Offset and all his outfits, obviously all the biopic excitement and the teasers. There's more stuff though. Like MJ the Musical is on tour. Basically, the This Year in Hee History event is going to be an opportunity to kind of take some stock and inventory of that and just look back on all the stuff that we've been through as a fandom. I can't think of other stuff at this moment, but yeah, we got that Thriller. We had so much stuff happen this year as a fandom, that it's definitely gonna be hella fun, for us to take a look back over those things. So that's what we're gonna be doing for this year in history. Then we're doing revisiting the hits. I don't know if I'm going to call it that, but anybody who's been on Twitter today, I had put out a form and a tweet where I was asking what you guys think are some of the most overrated songs. And the reason why I asked is first of all, because I was curious, but also because I think it's always interesting to talk about that type of stuff because I want to go back and then revisit these tracks. Are they overrated or are they just that freaking good? So that's what we're gonna be discussing during that event. I'm thinking that songs that are gonna come up will be like Billie Jean, Beat It, Remember the Time, Smooth Criminal, things like that. And we will be getting into the scoop and the tea with that. Then we have the history anniversary, which is obviously what it sounds like. History. I think the history anniversary is June the 20th. And it's gonna be turning 29 this year. Ooh, ciao. And so we're gonna be doing a space celebrating the 29th anniversary of one of my favorite albums of all time, one of my favorite Michael Jackson albums of all time, History. It's super duper special to me. I don't know if that event is going to be on the 20th exactly, but it is going to be happening. So there is that. And I guess the final one that I will tell you guys about is we are going to bring back, give me one second, let me share the tab. Oh, I guess I could have just done that. I'm stupid. Y'all, hold on. I'm used to just y'all hearing my voice. I'm not used to navigating a whole bunch of stuff. But the final event, drum roll, please, is going to be the MJ album versus. Any of you guys who have been in the fandom for a little minute are aware that a couple years ago, I think it was 2022, we put, well, not we, I shouldn't say we, Mars and M and a couple other people put together an album versus. And when I was starting to outline 25 Days of MJ, some people were like, girl, we should totally bring that back and do the album ranking and getting to the verses and all that stuff. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that in two different ways. And I'm about to tell you how. So as you can see, we've got our matchups all ready to go. We're going to be doing Destiny versus Triumph, Off the Wall versus Thriller, Bad versus Dangerous, and History versus Invincible. Now, I'm still getting down to the bottom of this with Mars and M because they were the ones who did it back in 2022. So we're going to figure out how we're going to do it this year. But what I do know for certain is that for the first four lineups, Destiny and Triumph, Thriller versus Off the Wall, Bad versus Dangerous, History versus Invincible, that's going to happen on game night. Anybody who came to the game night during Jackson January, we did a slideshow battle where basically people, it was so much fun, y'all. People were able to pick what album they wanted to defend. Um, and it was their job to make a slideshow argument for that album. And so, say for example, it's Dangerous versus Bad. You need to make a slideshow focusing on why Dangerous is the better album. So you wanted to come up with an argument for why Dangerous is better. You needed to come up with an argument for why Bad was worse. Pick, I think, three songs from the album to defend it, like that stand as the strongest, and just really drive your argument home. Even if you love both albums, obviously you really want to gun hard to try and get your album to win. And so that's what we're going to do here. And the whole point is to make a fly slideshow. It's really not so much about what album wins as it is that you make a bomb, cool, exciting slideshow. We had so much fun with this back during Jackson January. I'm gonna show you the one that I made for when I did my debate. That way you guys can kind of get an idea of what I mean. Um, and maybe you can start to think about which one you want to defend because obviously we're going to need volunteers. So this was my slideshow. We did the Jacksons versus the Jackson 5 because it was Jackson January. And so I took my time and I made my slideshow. I put my pictures together. I made sure it was nice and visual. I made my arguments that the Jackson 5 didn't write for themselves. And that's fine because the music was better with the Jackson 5. I highlighted all of the hits that the Jackson 5 had. And then I ultimately argued that the Jackson 5 is better because Jermaine was there, and Jermaine leaving the group messed everything up. And so the whole point is to make something really dope, really good looking and visual. And so basically from there, after we do the slideshow battles at the game night, that's how we're going to narrow down the seeds. And whoever wins their album during game night is going to, go to the top 4. And then I think we're going to do spaces from there to really dive into the nitty gritty and get into the final 4 and final 2 of it all. So I hope that makes sense. Are y'all still here? Throw a fire in the chat if y'all are still here, a fire emoji. Cause y'all done got quiet. Y'all done got quiet. Y'all done got quiet. Can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. Go ahead and throw a fire in the chat. Fire, fire in the chat. Fire, fire in the chat. If you're still here with me, but pretty much that's it for 25 days of MJ. We're going to do game night. We're going to do astrology night this year in Hiki history. We're going to revisit the hits, history anniversary. And throughout the month, we're going to be working through those album brackets. So I'm super duper excited. We did the album brackets obviously on game night, or not. It wasn't brackets. It was just the PowerPoints, and it was super duper fun, very competitive. It's not so much about pitting albums against each other as it is just having fun, just having a great time. So definitely make sure that y'all pull up for 25 days of MJ. You guys can keep up with everything through the hashtag. And obviously just by following me on Twitter, which all of y'all do. Which all of y'all obviously do. And then we'll go from there. But I'm super duper excited. If y'all have any questions, just let me know. And I will be coming up with dates for everything and putting out flyers. Just blame it on my birthday, if nothing else. But what I can tell you for sure is that we're gonna do the hits this week. We're gonna do the hits this week. Game week is gonna be the week after that, and Hee history and Astro week. So that week of the 10th is gonna be super busy. And all that jazz. So yeah, get into it, get into it, get into it, get into it. So yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about 25 days of MJ, really truly. I just kind of wanted to outline it to you because I hadn't got a flyer up. It's just been so busy. It's been so hectic. Your girl has a full-time job and a full-time man and a full-time cat. And so I just hadn't had the chance to put together everything for you. But just know that we're gonna have a good time for the King Pop. Make sure if you haven't already that you've joined the Hee Hee headquarters. That is the Discord that we created for the Hee Hees to hang out and to he some more online. So if you're not a member, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat. We have all sorts of fun stuff that we do over there. Actually, let me go ahead and give y'all a quick tour of the Discord because the girls logged in one time and it acted like they didn't know how to use it. And a lot of people didn't come back, but we be having fun in there. So don't miss out. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And then after I'm done showing y'all the Discord, we can do question and answer. And then from there, we can just kiki. So get some questions ready for me. Any questions that y'all want to ask Mother Rose? It could be about my birthday. It could be about music. It could be about Michael. I just want to talk to you guys, hang out for a little bit, and then I will leave shortly because I'm trying to turn up. As a matter of fact, let me take a shot. Jay, if you can hear me and you'd like to take a shot, come take a shot with me. because we trying to get lit. Mr. Father Rose. Trying to get lit in here. Take a shot. But all right, let me show y'all the Discord. This is the Discord. It's Hee headquarters. I just want to show y'all for anybody who's not in here yet, because like I said, I know some of the girls don't know how to use it. Some of my TTs were confused, and so y'all stop tapping in. So basically, a Discord is a group of different group chats. It's a lot of stuff going on in here for sure. So when you come in, there's the welcome chat. This is where everybody says hello and we find out who the new members is. Amen, amen. Any announcements, go in the announcements chat, and you just really surf around over here for different chats. But just to highlight, we've got the general chat. This is where all the general stuff goes down, any big announcements, questions of the day, conversations. We've got the AI edits chat is hilarious because we had the art channel and people kept on posting AI stuff in the art channel. So we made the AI chat for the girlies who like to play around and make AI. We have the art channel. The art channel is super duper dope. Obviously, the artists gather in here, and I expect this chat to be super duper bumping as we're doing the 25 days of Michael challenge. I think it's a great spot for people who create Michael art and photography and things like that to talk about it. We have the fan collection chat where people can post all their different Funko Pops and merch and outfits and stuff like that. The fan fiction discussions chat is obviously my favorite. Y'all know I write fanfic and some of my other girls do. So we post our updates, we brainstorm, we chit chat, we run polls. And also for those of you guys who do read fan fictions, we have spoiler chats. So when people make their updates and stuff, that way we're not all talking about the chapter on the timeline or in the main chat. So when Thicker Than Water or Time Waits for No One, Chicago, stuff like that, when they drop, we come in here and we chit chat. Then we got all types of stuff. Michaelology, which is for talking about personal life stuff. We've got the Jackson Family Values chat, which is for talking about other members of the family. We've got the biopic chat. This is probably the most popular space in the Discord right now because everybody is so excited for the movie. So this is where people share leaks and pictures and get into conversation about that. And then we've got, the voice channels. We've got some other spots for other fandoms and things like that. So yeah, if you are a Michael Jackson fan, you're looking for community, you want to make friends, you want to find out where the events are at, definitely make sure you join. And some of the events, I think game night is going to be Hee headquarters exclusive. The astrology night is going to be Hee headquarters exclusive. We do all sorts of stuff in there. Sometimes we watch movies, we do the MJ Fiction Club. So we're trying to create a really nice community for the MJ fans to come together and hang out and have a safe space. It's really catered to Black folks. You don't have to be Black to be in Hee headquarters, but you got to at least like Black people. Um, be pro Black, pro queer. We don't do none of that weird stuff. Okay, we got to be kind, rewind, or get out, or get out. So yeah, that's about it on that front. So I think I'm ready to do some birthday Q&A. So drop your questions in the chat. Should I drop my NGL link? I'll drop my NGL link just in case any of y'all are feeling scary. Cause I know some of y'all be scary and I don't want y'all to be, but just in case you don't want to ask me the question out loud, I'll go ahead and put that in the chat in a second. But you guys can ask me anything. I'm not trying to be vain, but it is my mother hecking birthday. So anything y'all have ever wanted to ask me, now is the time. Let me make a tweet. Mm. I can't see, so y'all can definitely send some stuff real quick while I'm getting this tweet at. I'm just trying to let the girls know that we're here. Because I'm not going to stay on too much longer. I'm not going to stay on for like 30 years tonight. I just want to be on for a little bit. I just wanted to come and say hello, talk about 25 days of MJ, give y'all some proof of life, show y'all that I look motherfucking good 2 days before I turn 27. And let me go ahead. I'll drop the link into the chat. So that's only if you're scary. If you're not scared to If you're not scared to ask me in the chat, y'all can ask me in the chat. But if you guys want to send me something that you're nervous to ask, you guys can go ahead and send it in the NGL. The first question is, what inspires Rose? Oh my gosh, what doesn't inspire me? Um, I'm obviously very inspired by music. Typically whatever I'm obsessed with at the time is what I talk about. Um, and not just obsessed with at the time. I have certain people that I study. Obviously, Michael is one of them. I also study Stevie and Marvin and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all sorts of artists. So, but like I go through different phases. I wouldn't say that being a Michael fan is a phase, but definitely it's been my jam lately. Whereas like 2 years ago, I was really heavy into Mariah. During Renaissance year, everybody was focused on that, like, whatever. Right now, I'm in my gospel wave, so that's been very inspiring. As far as people who I, like, look up to or, like, see as, like, a role model for content or whatever, I love Naima Cochran and Music Sermon and what she does over there. I've been following Naima since I was in college, and I used to watch her music sermons religiously, and the way that she puts content together and tells stories, if there's anybody who I'm trying to be like, it's her. I love Craig Seymour, the journalist. I've had the pleasure of speaking to him a couple times and kind of similar thing. I love the way he puts content together. Um, what inspires me? What inspires you guys inspire me too, honestly, being on the timeline and having conversations with you guys. That's why a lot of my stuff is very community oriented. If I can have conversations with you guys and learn from you guys and get insight from how you guys feel or like whatever conversations are cyclical, that comes up for me. But yeah, that's what comes to mind as far as what inspires me, music, and I have a couple role models. Those are just some of the people who come to mind. Craig Seymour, Naima, um, where's some other people I love and respect? Black Music Archive, Malik Kashad over at Black Music Archive. If I could be half as good as him with my content, I would be so happy. Mm-mm-mm. What is my favorite song off of Blood on the Dance Floor? That's from Madame Aura, my other Gemini Buki. My favorite song off of Blood on the Dance Floor also happens to be my very favorite Michael Jackson song ever, and that would be "Is It Scary?" I love that song so much. I know that half of it is Ghost, but, like, it's better than Ghost. It goes so much harder than Ghost because it's so personal, and I think there's such a depth to that song that I think can sometimes go unappreciated and unnoticed. um him, everything that he had been through up until that point, um with the scrutiny and obviously dealing with the vitiligo and then dealing with the allegations, and it had gotten to a point where everyone was making him the punching bag and trying to turn him, like, there's something, y'all know, I've one of the first Michael events that I ever did. Oh, I forgot to mention Heartthrob History. We're doing that too. That's what we could do this week. I'm sorry. We're doing Heartthrob History this week. My bad. For anybody who doesn't know what Heartthrob History is, it's an event where we play Michael's romantic songs and we act like fangirls. So we're doing that this week. That's what we're doing. I don't know why. I knew I was forgetting something. But one of my first events that I've done on here was King of Spooky, which was me examining Michael and his proclivity for horror and suspense and paranoia and this eerie, mysterious music. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's more than just thriller and is it scary and ghosts. It's Heartbreak Hotel. It's Who Is It? It's Ben is creepy. Lil Susie is creepy. This time around is haunting. Okay, there's a threatened. There's so many songs in his au revoir that's like dark and suspenseful and weird and paranoid. And Is It Scary is one of my favorites because, like I said, you get to this point where everybody wants to call him a monster and say that he's ugly and say that he's grotesque. And he's like, well, girl, let's really unpack that. Let's really unpack that. I think the evil one is you. I think you're the monster. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's my favorite song off of Blood on the Dance Floor. It's my favorite Michael Jackson song, period, out of all of them. Every single one of them. Baby Mine, Billie Jean. I can't help it. Break it down, whatever. It's is it scary? That's always going to be number one. That's always going to be my main thing. The next question is from Aaliyah. And again, we're doing question and answer. So y'all can keep on sending questions in the chat or to my NGL. I'll pin that. How do I pin it? So the next question is, what is my favorite movie soundtrack? I think it's Waiting to Exhale. That's what I think it is. That's the only soundtrack that I can think of where like I know every single damn. That's not true though. That's not true. I also love Rent, even though it's technically a Broadway musical, but I prefer the movie soundtrack, the movie from like 2005 with Rosario Dawson and all them. Yeah, I'm a big Rent head. That's my favorite Broadway musical, period. They ate that, and I could literally you could play any song from that soundtrack and I will break into character. Um Are there any other soundtracks that I can think of? And because I feel like I'm gonna forget something, I feel like I'm gonna come back and be like, "Damn." Um, One of the film scores that I like listening to a lot is from If Beale Street Could Talk. That had a really, really awesome score, and I will just play that sometimes at night. But no, Waiting to Exhale comes to the top for me. I don't know. Yeah, for sure, for sure. He just ate that. Babyface is the king of R&B at the end of the day, if you really wanna talk about it. Because he wrote hits for everybody. Everybody, everybody. So yeah, I think those are my favorite movie soundtracks. Shout out to all the Rent heads, man. I love Rent. Everything is Rent. I'm not gonna pay last year's rent, this year's rent, next year's rent. Rent, 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 rent. It's my ish. My ish. Somebody sent me to my NGL. Y'all be so messy in my NGL. Somebody said Morphine and Lil Susie are certified skips. So the energy is eerie. Morphine is a banger. I don't know about that. Morphine is a banger. You just got to be ready to get metal with it. You just got to be ready to get a little uncomfortable. But I love that one. Ooh, that's a good question. I got a Clark Sisters question. I'm excited to answer that one. Somebody asked me if I noticed that Taj raised the fundraiser from 333K to 777K because stuff costs money. I don't know why y'all think stuff don't cost money. Let me tell y'all something about how I feel about Taj. First of all, y'all know I have a sensitivity towards Destito's children. Okay. I do care about the 3 T's. I do care about box braids. I do care about eyebrows. I do care about Taro. I don't know what Taro's nickname is. Um, I I hope his documentary comes out. I hope that he does right by the people. I just think I'll say this. I think that there's a lot more behind the scenes than we're aware of that it takes to create a movie like that, especially since he wants to tackle the allegations and kind of create a film that's going to be like the foil for Leaving Neverland. You got to get details together. You got to make sure the legal is right. You got to have people who are willing to come and give testimony. You got to pay for licensing for songs and for videos and stuff like that. And you got to also remember that Taj is not necessarily a member of the estate. Michael Jackson has an estate and there's all this other label stuff filtered into it. And then with the biopic coming out, I'm sure that didn't help because I'm sure the biopic has been in the works for much longer than we've been aware of. So imagine Taj is trying to put together some documentary that's going to be a Justice for MJ thing and it might kick up dust. With stuff that they don't want brought up if they want the movie to go well. Does that make sense? I don't think it's just that he took the money and ran necessarily. I don't think that. I think that it's just a lot harder than it looks. And I think he hasn't done a good job being transparent about all that. But I do hope that he creates something to run people their money back. Or that people get a movie soon. But I just say that to say that I'm holding out hope. That he has been talking about doing a documentary about Michael for at least 10 years. So I'm hoping that when it comes, but that's not what you asked me. Somebody asked me if I saw that his fundraiser got higher because bitch shit costs money. Stuff costs money. Stuff is not free. even to edit, to get the equipment, to get the software, to pay for licensing, to pay for legal, to get pay people to be in it. It's a lot. Did I miss out? Because think about it, the biopic is $120, $20 million in budget. He only wants one 1/20th of that. Let that sink in. The next question that I have is, did I miss out on the second half of Michael T? No, you didn't. I haven't done it yet. I guess we could do that this month too. The thing that I don't want to do, like I said, because my birthday is on Monday and then I'm going out of town for a week later this month. I don't want to get too many things on the calendar and then I start canceling stuff because I'm overwhelmed. So we'll see. Tea might be something that we save. And remember that this is just June. We still have his birthday. So trust me, you guys will get more stuff from me. We'll get back to MJT because I know y'all want it. We spent most of MJT doing the tier ranker. I should do one of those on here. But keep asking questions in my NGL or on the thingy. Somebody said, I know you're a Clark Sisters girl. It's from NGL. What is your favorite Clark Sisters album, solo or group wise? I'm so glad you asked. So here's the thing about the Clark Sisters. I don't really listen to their albums like that. Like the Clark Sisters, they have a almost over 50-year-old career when you think about how long they've been performing live as a group. They admitted a couple weeks ago that they're hitting 5 decades because they would have probably started around 1974. They only have like 5 albums. And I don't know. I guess I would say like my favorite, because there's the thing, I watch a lot of their live performances. That's what I love with the Clark Sisters. I will get on YouTube and fall down a rabbit hole of live performances, and the music on Spotify is just to supplement. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would probably be the live One Last Time album. Because that's the album that has Blessed and Highly Favored. The performance of My Redeemer Liveth on that album is one of my most played songs of all time. They did a lot of really great classics on that album. I think it's well rounded. As far as albums, like studio albums that aren't live albums, I love obviously their 1994 the album without Twinkie. Was that album called Miracle? That album has a lot of bangers on it that I like. I love the version of Miracle on that album. The version of Jesus is the best thing that ever happened that's on that album. Work to Do is on that album. Child, not me playing the music. Amazing Grace. Yeah, it was called Miracle. That one has some bangers on it. And then the original one that has Haya and Is My Living in Vain. But for real, I don't be listening to the albums like that. I just be playing the music. They're not album artists like that because they just be performing live. You really just got to get in the paint on YouTube with the Clark Sisters. Somebody said, where did it all go wrong for Randy to be so right wing and basically estranged from his children? Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It could be nature. It could be nurture. It could be from the motorcycle accident. I don't know. It could be that he was the youngest in that family and he saw how everybody else was acting. I don't know. I don't know. One day we gotta react to his cameos and commercials for a laugh. That would be fun. Mars was saying that we should do some more streams on the Discord in general, so I'll work on it. I know about the Clark Sisters are all about God, but as a secular non-Christian person, what songs do you recommend that are outwardly about God? Is that what you're asking me? Are you asking me for the songs that non-Christians would enjoy? Or are you asking me for a song that is outwardly about God that will help you? I want to make sure I understand the question. Take a shot. Take a shot. Take a shot. I want to make sure I have the question right. Aren't. All right. Aren't about, I mean, what songs by the Clark Sisters do I recommend that aren't outwardly about God? So here's the thing about that. They are all outwardly about God. In some way or another, you kind of can't escape it. The Clark Sisters aren't like Kirk Franklin. Like they very much put the ministry first. Um, but I would say I mean, miracle isn't necessarily super duper Christian. It's just I'm looking for a miracle. I expect the impossible. The sky is the limit to what I can have. Amen. I don't know though. That's the thing. But the thing about the Clark sisters and the reason why I enjoy them, because I wasn't a Christian when I started listening to their music. Their music is what made me get a little bit more into the religion. But the reason why it appealed to me is because Twinkie was making music that sounded secular. So how about this? I'll say you should listen to You Brought the Sunshine. That's their biggest hit. It was playing in clubs, it was playing in Studio 54 and all that stuff. They mimicked Stevie Wonder. They like basically sampled his song Master Blaster and it became their biggest hit and it was literally playing in bars and nightclubs all over the place. So that might be a good song. It's still about the Lord. Still about Jesus, but it's a little bit more secular feeling, so much so that it was playing in the streets. Do I follow or admire any other gospel artists or groups? I have well, the Clark sisters were my first, like they were the beginning of me really getting into gospel like that. But obviously I was always a fan of Kirk Franklin. I've always been a fan of Kirk Franklin. I've always liked Yolanda Adams. More recently, I've gotten into Fred Hammond. I'm like obsessed with Fred Hammond and commissioned. Um, Marvin Sapp, I've been getting into. The Anointed Pace sisters are incredible. Walter Hawkins and the Hawkins family is incredible. There's so much great gospel music out here. I wouldn't consider myself an expert, but those are just some of the groups and artists that I have been getting into. Y'all can ask me some more questions and I'll just talk a little bit about that, I guess, maybe. That came together kind of random. Like I said, I've always been kind of witchy and I never really I didn't grow up Christian. I didn't grow up going to church, so I really it wasn't like it was something that was forced upon me. I kind of always was allowed to kind of float and figure out my own thing. And then it was actually when Destiny's Child when they all went on the Terrell show. Um hold on. When they all went on the Terrell show, I was watching that. And after I got done watching Kelly Rowland and Michelle and them, I saw the episode with the Clark sisters in the recommended. And so I watched that. And then that was what made me go and listen to more of their stuff. It was Thanksgiving. I remember that Black Friday, I decided to watch the Clark sisters movie. And then I watched one of their concerts, their Legends of Gospel concert. And then basically from there, I just kept dialing in. I kept clocking in. I stayed on my Zoom. I went from watching their full concerts to going and listening to the albums on Spotify to watching just videos of them hanging out and chilling. And I would say, as somebody who's been a fan of the Jackson family for such a long time, it was just exciting to get into another musical family in general. Um, if you enjoy like getting into the Jackson family lore and how the siblings get along or don't get along and stuff like that, there's a lot of that with the Clarks that's fascinating. And so I just kept listening and kept listening and kept listening, maybe 2 months into listening to it, and I was totally not even trying to become like a Christian with it. I was just trying to listen to their music. I thought that they sounded so beautiful. And then after a few months of listening to it, you start following it, and then you're like, "Hey, maybe I should tune into church. Hmm, maybe I should join this church. I like it. Maybe I should start reading the Bible again." Next thing you know, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Praise the Lord. So that's kind of how I got here. It's pretty lit. I've got cookies. Y'all got any more questions for me? Or does anybody want to join me up on live? I don't know if it's against YouTube policy to be getting lit, but this is a cigarette as far as you all know. This is a cigarette as far as you all know. If y'all don't have any more questions, I will start to slide up out of here because I hate being on live when I don't have nothing to say. I hate being on spaces or on anything when I don't know what to say next. But I will say I'm just super duper excited to be here. I thank you guys for showing me so much love always in all things, whether it's a space or you guys coming and joining me on YouTube. Wherever you support me. Y'all read my stories, y'all listen to my thoughts all damn day. Mikey, do you still want to come up? Do you still want to come up? I'd have to send you this invite. Sorry, I had to mute. My bad. Mikey, I'm gonna send you the invite on Twitter if you still want to come up. Me and Mikey were supposed to be doing a live for a hot minute about Beyonce, 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 Beyonce. Miss Carter. And so I'm about to send you the link. I think I got through everything. If y'all got any more questions, then y'all can go ahead and just send them to my NGL or put them in the chat and I'll keep answering them. But I'm gonna see if Mikey will come up. And if anybody else wants to come up and be seen, I can send you guys the link and y'all can join. Also, I'm gonna drop my whatchamacallit. My birthday isn't until Monday, but if you would like to contribute to the birthday turn up, it is a cigarette. It is a cigarette, as far as you know. Rolled. This is pure Virginian tobacco. Thank you, Benji. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all like it too. It's 10 people in here. It's 9 likes. Who ain't on their Zoom? Get on your Zoom. Somebody said, I noticed you said you would stay out of any discourse about the Apple Top 100. And so, in your opinion, did Lauryn Hill deserve the number one? Ay, ay, ay. So I had a lot going on the day that dropped. I was going through some things, so I just didn't have the energy to even go back and forth with y'all about it. But here's what I will say. I'll say this. I didn't care about what Apple Music had to say about the top 100 albums to begin with. I use Spotify. And I know that they got Ebro running around the office acting like he's the authority to something. No shade. You know what I mean? So I already was like trying to keep my stress load low about it because I think we all agree that most of these lists suck ass. Like whether it's Rolling Stone, I think Billboard is the only publication that's done pretty well with their lists over the last couple of years. But most of the time, we know that it's clickbait. They're just trying to make us mad. They're just trying to get people riled up. And so that was part of why I wanted to stay out of it. And as far as Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, if I was ranking the top 100 best albums of all time, no, I would not put that as number one. No shade. It's not far. It's pretty close. But here's what I'll tell you. Let me pull up the damn tweet for what the criteria was. Because Ebro did post what the criteria was. So give me 1 second because I want to make sure I answer this question. I don't think it deserved number one though. Overall, I think there were a lot of things wrong with the top 10. For Songs in the Key of Life to be like number 9 or whatever it was, and then to have like it just was they definitely fumbled quite considerably a couple times. But when I look at what the rubric was, what Ebro posted, when the hell did they post this? There we go. So the voters of the top 100 best albums that represented a cultural moment for an artist or genre, albums that were complete thoughts, not just collections of hit songs, albums that thoroughly represent culture in production and lyrics, albums that oh, here goes Mikey. Hey, Bookie. I'm gonna add you to the stage. I can't hear you. Hey.
Okay. No, I don't know what I'm doing.
But you're here. I can hear you and I can see you. So you did it right.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool, man.
We're talking about Lauryn Hill. I'm gonna answer this question. It was artists albums that inspired a generation to want to create more music, albums that represent the best in storytelling, musicianship, recording, and production, and albums that are timeless and reached far beyond genre categorization. Now, I don't know about you. I don't think that the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is the best album to do all of those things all at once. But when I look at Thriller being number 2 and Miseducation being number 1, I think that Miseducation is more of a complete thought. I think that it's less of a collection of hits. I think that Thriller is less concept and more like I'm just going to create the best music and give you 9 of the best songs you ever heard. I don't know that I think maybe they gave Miseducation that curve because it is a full concept album and it has like such a connected story that it's telling. And it, it does genre bend, like it doesn't not do any of the things that they said it was supposed to. So that's where I'm at with that.
Can I chime in on that list?
Please do.
I'm not gonna drag Miseducation because I love the album. I love the album. I think the list is cute if you and I said it from I think I saw actually from the first 10. From
Mm.
Ush from
Mm,
Confessions
mm,
was at
mm.
98, and I think like something was like 9. I was like, okay, I don't think the numbering matters. And then it was like Stevie's Inversions, I think, which and I'm new to Stevie, but just from hearing that album, it was
Mhm.
like 50 something. I was like, oh yeah, the number definitely doesn't matter. So I think if the
Mhm.
list still wouldn't be great, but I think if the list wasn't looked at as the ranking as in terms of us saying number 5 is better than number 11, like in that way,
Yeah.
then I think it's just easier to kind of digest as that, as it's just listen, man, 100 greatest album, and we just go as we think about it, we go and throw them out. It's like if me and you were sitting
Right.
down
In
trying to
in
do
no
it.
real particular order. Just
Right, like if me and you were trying to do that off a rip right now, and we just throwing out as they pop in our mind, and we jot them down. So we just decided we're gonna start from 100 to 1, and we just start. Oh, what about Marvin Gaye? What about a guy throwing out Aretha? And we just start ranking them. Now, Marvin popped in my mind before Aretha. That's not me saying the album by Marvin that chose is better than the Aretha
and
album.
can I
I mean,
just say
I
that,
think
like, I think Mariah not being on there was egregious. Cause Mariah,
I was gonna get to that.
go ahead.
I was gonna get to that. Now, I do think more than the ranking, I also do think they wanted this moment. Well, let me just say with Lauren real quick. I think they wanted this moment to what we saw them meeting up with Lauren and telling her and having, I guess it was a dinner or sit down, what it was. But I guess because of that, they wanted to do that with the number one person. Maybe,
Mhm.
um, maybe that's why Thriller. Because unfortunately, of course, they can't do it with Mike. Of course, right now, still wouldn't explain why they wouldn't just make. And I guess at the same time, also maybe they try not to, because let's be honest, songs in the Key of Life is gonna be like number one and number two, like number one and number
Like, I don't know how
two.
they messed that up. I don't know
But like
how
maybe they
you
were just kind of like, you know what? It's gonna be boring if we keep doing it over and over and over again. So let's try to. We're still gonna honor it because we know it's that girl. So we can't put it no far place away from it. But and I'm kind of with that a little bit. No shade. I'm with that a
eh,
little bit. Like I'm with like how many times we gonna see we get it. Stevie, Aretha, Love the Legends down. But okay, sometimes we gotta start like find a way to still honor, never forget, still honor, never forget. But that's how I was even happy to see Marvin like that. Let's get what's the album? What's Marvin Gaye?
they put What's Going On, I think.
What's going
I'm pretty
on?
sure.
I love seeing that album because a lot of people actually don't know about that album, right? So, but anyways, the most egregious thing more than the ranking to me, like I said, was two people I wanted on that list and were that I thought very much deserved, and it would be Mariah, of course, and they had a list of albums they could choose from, or and Alicia Keys, like both of them. I think both
Okay.
on the list. Those are two
Okay.
missing off a
Cause
rip.
some people was like, this person should have been on it, but some of the people that they was naming,
Yeah, those
not
are all
really
two that
album era.
I thought it was a solid list, honestly. Except those two were, and I do still stand by what I said that I think they would have been better if they had just put that as a part of the thing and said, okay, we know, sir, there are some artists in history that have multiple magnum opuses, multiple great bodies of work. But you know what? For the sake of trying to give everyone space, we're only going to choose one album per artist. I still think they should have done that. And my fave has two placements on there, and I still stand by that. So this is not me being against anybody
Period.
because I'm Hive, and I still think even
'Cause
the
Hive wasn't worried about it.
no, like I'm saying. So I'm not even trying to be biased and be like, well, Kyle, I don't care. My girl got, and the Hive was saying my mentions fight me down, child. I was like, they were like, child, she had two more that could be. I was like, go, girl. I
That's
just
your
thought it would create
realistic.
space for other people. I just wanted to create some space for other people. Like Janet could have had more placement if we're being. She and only artist that could have
Yeah.
multiple placement. Like I said, there's a lot of artists that could have multiple bodies of work, deservedly, by the way, because Stevie deserves his placement. Like I said, Janet would have deserved a second placement. So, Michael
Michael
deserved at
deserved
least
a
two
second
placement.
placement.
So Michael definitely could have two placement, two or three placement wouldn't be an issue. So, but I think like we're talking about 100 greatest album across. I love that they were open to so different genres because I saw a lot of people taking on notes like, oh, I never heard this album before. Let me go check it out. So I think lists like that can be cute if they did that. But yeah, Mariah definitely should have been on there. I don't know. They need to stop playing Baby Girl's face.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no, they definitely played real bad with Mariah. That doesn't
real
make any
bad.
sense to me. Because, like you said, she does have a list, and it really would have taken them nothing to, like, between Daydream, Butterfly, Emancipation of Mimi,
Like just
Debut, Music
pick
Box.
up the
Y'all couldn't
threes.
have found nothing.
Like
Come on
nothing.
now.
Come on, because it checked every box that y'all said. It checked every box that y'all
Mm-mm-mm.
said. So that was that. But I'm really excited about everything you have coming up. I was in there. I had to make an account.
I'm excited. I'm excited too. It's a lot of fun stuff coming up. 27 is going to be a good year for you, girl. I feel it. I feel it even here.
Why can't I see your chat? So, oh wait, I gotta go to comments because I was having fun clicking in the
Yeah.
comments. Oh, there we
That's
go.
one thing that it takes some getting used to is that you have to
Yeah,
be able to navigate like 12 different things at once. I'm trying to get it to where the chat will come over to StreamYard, but Auntie can't figure that out yet. Auntie got to watch a few more tutorials. I got
gotcha.
a couple more questions and then we can. I don't know if you still want to talk about Beyonce tonight or if you want to talk
We
about a
can.
different night.
I'm in for the night. I'm having a good time. I'm up, so we can do it. But go ahead with the other questions.
So I got favorite gospel choir so far. I don't know, girl. That's hard. That's hard. Radical for Christ. I'll say that. Um, when am I usually still, aka not listening to music or reviewing music, engaging on my platforms? What does that stillness consist of? I am always buzzing. I am a multitasker. Music is usually always on. I like to play games and write and stuff. But honestly, I could make and I mean, I don't know if I would call this stillness, but it's literally the opposite of stillness, but I go on jogs almost every single day to clear my mind and to sort my stuff out, but it's the not listening to music that throws me off. I guess I could say I'm not always listening to review music. I'm not always processing music, but I am often playing music around the house cuz I'm black. Is the Jackson era over from Janet to Terrell? They fell off from streaming numbers and sales to relevancy. First of all, I don't know what you expect for them. Most of the Jacksons that are active haven't dropped an album other than Janet. When was the last time we got an album from Jermaine? I don't know. I don't know what y'all expect from them. But I will say, just wait for the biopic to come out. I promise you, it's gonna be popping real bad.
It's gonna be crazy.
Really bad. Like promise you when the biopic comes out, don't worry about it. All that you're worried about is going to be over if people are capitalizing right.
I true.
I want to really get started on Stevie. The discography is daunting though. Suggest where I should start. You should start with Music of My Mind. I've answered this question timeless times two, Mikey.
To me.
So you should start with Music of My Mind. That's basically the album where he gets his full creative freedom. It's the beginning of his golden era. And then you want to listen to Music of My Mind. You want to listen to Talking Book. That's what's next. Inner Visions, Fulfilling This is First Finale, and Songs in the Key of Life. Those five albums is the most crazy stretch of albums ever. This is when he won three album of the years. His three consecutive albums. I mean, that's it. Music of My Mind, Talking Book, Inner Visions, Fulfilling This is First Finale, Songs in the Key of Life, and then you totally could keep going. Like Stevie doesn't have a bad album. You can keep going after you get through those five, but if you only have time to listen to five albums, that's what you need to do. The classic period.
And all I will say is you're gonna hear the music and be like, "This was made when? Like what year? Like this
It's
production was
insane.
done 19 who? Because maybe this sounds like yesterday. Like
It's insane.
technology wasn't what it was. So how we hear it? How's my ears? It's mind blowing. The production, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. Like it will literally take you out of that time. It's so
It's
great.
nuts. It's nuts. Especially I wish I could be
The com-
listening to Stevie's discography the first time again. But for those of you guys who don't know, I've done a series called Stevie series. I didn't do it this year, but the 2 years before that I did it. And we covered the five albums that I just talked about, one per week. We work our way through. And it's really amazing because even with the first album, you listen to Music of My Mind and it's like, wow, this is some of the best fucking music I've ever heard in my life. Can it get any better? And then you listen to Talking Book and it's like, wow, this is the best music that I've heard in my life. Does it get any better? And then you go to Intervisions and it's
and it's just keep
like
getting better.
by the time you get to Songs in the Key of Life, you're amazed that anybody could continue to grow and evolve. And I'll also say if you especially if you're asking me this and you're a Michael Jackson fan, but anybody else, Mariah, Whitney, Britney, Madonna, whoever, like you could pull any name out of goddamn hat and you'll start to hear stuff like, oh my gosh, that's the inspiration, that's the source, this is the rock. So yeah, do them classic albums and feel free to talk to me. I think I should do Stevie series again. I feel bad that I didn't do it um this year because I was doing the Black band history during Black History Month, but it just feels so central and it feels so important because I feel like any other artist that I talk about, people listen to, but I feel like a lot of the girls haven't had their Stevie Wonder era. And if I can be the person to help, I'm gonna do that every time.
Exactly.
Every time. So Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce. It's only 4 people here though. Not that I mind, but I do feel like when we do the discussion, we should come back and do it and like really market
Oh,
it. But we can still chit chat because per I got time.
listen. Oh my God. I'm just. I'm like Michael. You need
How
to
are you
just.
feeling? It's been 2 months with
I
Cowboy
have
Carter.
not listened to Dua Lipa's album. I. Hey, that's my girl. But baby, I have not turned this album off. I can't. I have no desire to like go listen to anybody else. Like I've been listening to little things here and there, but it's just like okay, no, no. Two Hands Seven still. Tyrant is still on my mind, so I'm just like I just want to hear Tyrant. So I'm hearing somebody's song. I'm like, okay,
I'm glad you've woken up to Tyrant because you was playing with
baby,
all the songs after Two
baby,
Hands for a couple weeks. I was a little confused with you.
baby. I don't know what happened, but Dolly said, "Okay, Miss Carter, it's time to strike a fucking match." And Beyonce just walked right through my mind with the heels on fire. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that's what happened. Like I just heard that one day. Like I just let Two Hands Seven keep playing one day, and Dolly said, "You know what, bitch? Strike a match. Let's light up this juke joint one time." And it's like I just Beyonce just walked through my mind and into my spirit, and I was like,
That was me and Move.
"It's my girl. Like
I
she's
always
my
liked
girl."
Move, but because I was always listening to Virgo's Groove all the time, eventually you the one that comes after you just have to. Next thing you know, move into it.
And I was like, wait a minute, wait.
Move
Oh my god. Oh
into
my
it.
god. Oh Jesus have mercy. And then
Mm-mm-mm.
I was driving last week. I went to I think it was last week I did it. Maybe if not last week, the week before. I made the very, very unserious mistake of finally letting the last half of Carter flow right into Renaissance. Bitch. I was like, all
Did
right.
you crash?
I
Obviously,
the
you were
car
listening to it.
almost like it was on the opposite side of the highway. I was like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, bitch, you it's so ridiculous. I was like, no, 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 no. It's funny. Now, mind you, obsession has been on YouTube watching other people react to it, especially like and I'm crack up. I love it. I love watching people react to the album, react to the songs. I
Yes.
know daughter be snapping people, getting people up out of here. Tyrant be getting when that beat drops in Tyrant. I've seen souls left bodies to that. It's just it's
That
everything.
was such a fun moment. I tried to record a first reaction, but I ran out of storage like right around Bodyguard or like Jolene or something. And I'm not good at doing first reactions because I look like them algebra gifs. Like when people are staring off into space, I'm just trying to process so many things at once. I'm
What?
not good at like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
think I could ever. But I don't know. I haven't been spending as much time with the album. I fear like I feel like that first week or two, it had me in a chokehold, and I was listening to it top to bottom, back to front, front to back. And then Kendrick and Drake happened, and that had me in a chokey. And then that was when I revisited Mr. Morale. And then it's like I play it when I want to, and especially when I'm working out, I'll cut it on usually from
Right.
Yaya and then work my way forward. But I can't remember the last time that I've really. No, I did. I listened to the whole thing last week, but it's not because I don't like the album. It's not like I put it down because Beyonce's whack or this, that. It's just it's a heavy
It
digest
is.
moment.
It is.
It's not
Yeah.
Renaissance. It's not it is for some people, obviously, and it is
Right.
definitely an album that is replayable as hell, but it's not the same vibe for me. It's like I have to be in the mood to experience, especially since it's a massive fucking album.
That's
It
too.
kind
Like
of
I was like, it. It. Like I think the best way I think I said it on Twitter like last week, because of course the comparison between it and Renaissance keep coming up, and
mhm,
aside from the fact that they are a part of the same act, I don't there's nothing to compare. They're like so different to me.
at all.
Aside from the fact that they're part of one cohesive act, right? So I'm not mad at the
Mhm,
comparisons because I can't be mad at that. But I was like, where Renaissance was to make us
mhm.
feel joy and
Wiggle and
escape.
liberate,
Yeah,
yeah.
Renaissance
Bleach.
was meant for us to feel joy and
Nope.
escape, whereas Cowboy Car is actually meant for us to do the opposite. It's for us to sit and think,
As
not
fuck.
up and like because during the pandemic, we didn't want to sit. We were in the house trapped in our sitting and thinking and worrying and scared and stuff. So of course,
Yeah,
Renaissance is like, no, you don't want to think no more. You just want to like be free of thought, be free of like heavy. The world was heaviness. We are surrounded by heaviness and
exactly.
death and uncertainty and I'm just brokenness and all of that. So of course, nobody wants to think at that time or think about something else and think about something even more serious or whatever. We just wanted to like, yes, still live in reality, but it was definitely a sense of escapism, as you said, liberation of thought, liberation of love, liberation of feeling, liberation of mind and spirit. But Cowboy Car is the opposite. It's like, no, you gonna it probes you. It probes you. You know what I'm saying? It probes
I
you to
love
think.
that word.
So it's a probing album. You are supposed to think and reflect, especially the first half of the album. Especially the first half of the album.
Mhm.
The latter
And
half,
that be the part of the album that I be moving past sometimes, and
yeah,
again, not
because
because I
that's the
don't
part
like the
that you
songs,
is.
it's like
Mhm.
you
Now,
you
once
gotta
you
be
get to
willing to
like
get cracked
Yaya, and
open.
even Yaya a little bit, once you get to like Yaya, or for most people, for me, honestly, once I get to Riverdance, is when I'm just like, it's just fun here on out. You know what I mean? But even
Mhm,
Yaya is a fun song too.
mhm.
But for me, a lot of times when I have like short periods where I can listen to some stuff from it, I'll start at Desert Eagle. I start from Desert Eagle and just
Yeah.
have fun, let it ride all
Exactly, and
over.
I think that's also the part of the album that's a little bit more Beyonce-fied. Like, I feel like the
Mhm.
first half, because especially you gotta think, like, when you're when you're not a core Beyonce listener and you're skeptical because you're some old 60-year-old country lady, you put on the album, you wanna hear the songs that are gonna prove to you that she's going
It's a
country,
country.
right?
It's
So
country, right?
exactly, American Requiem, blah, 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 blah. And then you have the Jolene cover, and then you still have some Beyonce-fied stuff with Spaghetti, but then you get like that
Just for,
that
and then she
Chris
brings you right back into Just for Fun.
yeah, that country
Yep.
contemporary type of thing, and then everything after that is like, "Y'all still here? I'm about to reward my real fans. I'm about to reward the girls who are here to
Day oneers.
hear
The day oneers who
the
stuck through the
Beyonce."
first half. Now this is the shit I know y'all came for.
I really feel like Linda Martell's show is her being like, "Y'all still here?
Yep,
Period.
absolutely.
Period.
But that's
I'm
why I say
gonna
it's like
reward you."
that's why I say it's fun to kind of like divide it a little bit in like segments, because that's kind of how it is for me. But yeah, no, it's definitely layered, but it's so well thought out. Like to me, and I know it's like I feel like, oh my god, I keep saying this. I keep saying best every time she. I'm like, I don't want to keep following that realm. Like every time she drop a new album, I'm like, it's the best album. But I
I
don't.
mean,
It's
it's
almost
what she
like
does, though. That's what she do.
yeah, because it's like you just see the studying, and it's like everything every time she drops an album, and I, as a loyal fan, critique something about that album, the next album goes right behind, and she's been doing that since four. No, actually, no,
Mhm.
since self. Well, yeah, since four, I could say she's been doing that because you know how I feel about Sasha Fierce, and well, no, let me not say that. For me, since four, yeah, because when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, really the Ford didn't. My critique of I Am Sasha Fierce was it was not cohesive a cohesive way to show the most multifaceted person and entertainer that she was. I got the vision, I saw the vision, but it didn't come to the execution. Wasn't there for me. It was up to par. I know she was trying to show herself as an entertainer now, and I mean, and then I think she had just got married. I don't know if the album was made. She had been married before the album was made because I know it was like same year. But either way, but like her being like the Beyonce the entertainer and Beyonce the person and all that means.
Mhm.
Like, so I get the vision. So you know the harshness and the softness. I just think it just didn't. It wasn't well executed for me. Um,
Whatever.
that's just
I'm
me.
a truther.
That's just me. And then for I don't so I don't think for so but I think the Beyonce album did that. What I wanted. I think it managed to still be cohesive, but it was showing her again like Beyonce the you had songs on there that's about Beyonce the
Mhm. That were
femininity,
vulnerable.
Beyonce the mother, Beyonce the art. Because even a song like what's is it go like Ghost. I love it. I want Ghost to even be longer because it's like I feel like Ghost if you would add like you as a music journalist ask Beyonce like tell me what you think of your current state, what do you think about the current state of music right now, the shifted in streaming,
Mhm.
all the changes in music
That's
we're
the
going.
thesis statement of the whole album and that
Right,
whole second
exactly. Like,
half of
she's
her
like she's talking
career,
about
for
like
real.
maybe she basically told the touring is where the money is because music wasn't selling and stuff like that. You don't really
Mhm.
see Beyonce talk about stuff like that, like in interviews, like So that but I always say,
Mhm.
truthfully, that's why I tell people I listen to Beyonce's music. So there's nothing. That's why I don't need her on social media. There's nothing I need to know that I care to know about her that I don't already know. Truthfully,
Right.
because it's honestly all in the music. Like her opinions, her ideas about certain things, how she feels about certain things, it's really right there in the music. You know what I'm saying? You just really have to listen. You really just have to listen. So anyways, I thought self-titled did that like really, really
Mhm.
well. But if I had but when I had critique for self-titled, I still thought it was a little bit I still think it was still lacking a little lyrically. I had and yes, I know she's not no. I don't look to her for like the deepest and profound lyrics,
Mhm.
and she gives double entendres and they're cute and stuff. But I don't, I'm not listening to her for all of that. I get it. She's, I get that. She's like most pop R&B stars. It's like kind of surface level. They're not trying to be revolutionary figures that sing.
Mhm.
It's not Bob Marley here. It's not Bob Marley. I tell you,
Not
emancipate.
Bob Marley. Here
You
you
know what I mean?
go
Like, well,
with
I
your
grew up on
Jamaican
because, like I said,
supremacy.
I grew up on music like that, where Bob Marley seen as not just a musical, but like almost like as a whole prophet.
A
Like, you know what I'm saying?
poet.
Like,
Yeah.
telling someone to emancipate yourself from mental slavery and shit. Like baby,
None but
we freeing the
ourselves
people.
can
You
free
know what I
our
mean?
minds.
Like,
Please,
I
that's not.
wasn't expecting that from B, but again, I thought certain songs once again, and then we got to Lemonade, and I was like, okay, baby,
Right.
from the minute Pray You Catch Me came
He
on, I
said,
was
"Shut
like.
your mouth."
Yeah, right. From the minute I got to Pray You Catch Me, I was like, lyricism, storytelling here. We here.
Mhm.
So that was fun. That was really, really fun. And then again, still because I'm always having a little critique, not like a critique, but like a wanting, right? I'm greedy like that. And then I still consider Black is King, a Beyonce album. Me,
As you should.
exactly. And I shared this. I was like, now coming off of Lemonade, loved it at the time. I'm thinking checking all the boxes, best album for me. Um, but I was like, I love Beyonce. I love Beyonce's music. But I would think back to Whitney and Mariah and Celine and all the people I grew up loving, and realize that a lot of their music, it was like easy for me to sing, especially the inspirational music, because it was general. It was
Mhm.
like damn near non-binary, right? A lot of it like subject matter wise. And so I always said like I've never been felt slighted or been upset that Beyonce's music is predominantly for Black women, to uplift, to support, to highlight, to tell the stories of Black
Mhm.
women. I've never been jealous of that or be envy. I've never been envious of that, of I always celebrated it. I loved it. But there are times when it's like me going through certain things and dealing with certain things, and not being a black woman, where okay, I have to go elsewhere to like for when I need a pick me up for music. You know what I mean? I usually I go to gospel in my gospel space. So maybe when we got Find Your Way Back, when we got bigger,
Yeah.
like I was like, oh, okay, okay. Like this is not a song I'm gonna know it's not for someone like me, but I have to pretend it. Or I have to try find a way to make it apply to me or put myself in that perspective. No, this is crafted for like me and everybody else. You know what I mean? So
Right.
again, because I mean, and like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, you have songs like "Survive." I'm not saying she has no songs like that ever in the discography. That's not really general, but a lot of it is really more so for women. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. One thing I did say with her when they came to the feminist, with from when we got to I Am Sasha Fierce was I was also critiquing her issues of her stance on feminism, not like her
Mhm.
stance, but how far I wanted her to go musically. Being that most of her songs up until that point, as empowering as they were, it was empowering, but it was always kind of centered around
Centering, yeah,
a
the male
relationship
gaze.
with a man. You know what I mean? Like being done wrong by the dude in your life and kick him out. And yes, women need to hear that. Women need to be empowered to do that. Never not stand for no bullshit. Be free. Be all of that. Be independent of men and stuff like that. But I also feel like women go through more than just relationships. Especially black women go through so much more than just the sorrows of a bad relationship, right? So when
Yeah.
I even heard it, that's why I don't care what no one said. They will never make me hate Pretty Hurts. Love the song. Message of the song.
Tell them, because they
Because
love to
again, okay,
play.
broader, like a broader, we got to so songs like that, and then that's also what made me love Lemonade even more, because I was like, yes, it's about, I love the way she took her personal, and she's like, I could have gone this album just and put 10 tracks here telling Jay-Z all about himself. She could have
Mhm.
easily done that. I could have told Jay-Z to go fuck himself 10 different ways on 10 different songs and make them hit.
Not too much.
Could have done it, child. Could have definitely done it.
Not too
But she's like,
much.
you know what? I love that she took her pain and made it into a. There's a word I'm looking for. This thing about being alive. You try to remember the words. Um, what's a term you use when somebody put others' needs in front of their? That's the definition. When you put
Like a
your,
martyr,
I mean,
kind of.
does this become a mar? It's. I think it starts with an A. It's like circling right near my mind. But it's basically like,
Appeasing,
hmm?
acquiescing.
A piece is good. No, but you know when you
You got me in my Mariah
focus
Carey.
when you focus on like other people's needs, is it a pat a pathetic? I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying to think of a word. But anyways, but I love that she basically decided to take that approach and made it like a broader. Like I know I've gone through this experience, but you know what? It's a very common experience. Black women has been dealing with this shit for a long time, dealing with it with pain for a long time, and yet they've always found a way to lift themselves up and stuff. So let me like wrap myself in that and let it be like a us thing. I'm not
Right.
the only one that went through. So I love that with it, because like I said, it was just like, make it more about black women and not just about Beyonce. So I love that about Lemonade as well too. And yeah, but and then of course, happy Pride Month. Me being the none to the rest. Of course, I love to explain why I love Renaissance. I mean, hello.
Right.
but, but I think Cowboy Carter. I think I will say it's funny because one thing people used to say with and even review critiques used to say when it came to Cell Title and Lemonade, I saw a lot of people over the years try to split the discourse between the music itself and the videos. And there's been lots of arguments that the videos is what make one or both of the album. The visuals is what made one or both of the albums
Mhm.
um great and what they were. I've seen so many discourse they wouldn't be as strong, or they wouldn't be they ain't shit. There wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for the videos. The videos were highlight, the visuals were cute. And sometimes I do ponder, I was like, I don't know. Maybe she's like, okay, fine. If you think I need music videos to really give my album meat, well, bitch, here's some albums with no gap. Not a single fucking visual, bitch. Here you go. Don't tell me it's the videos now that's doing the work. Tell me
You
it
ain't
ain't the
gonna like
music
it.
speaking. It ain't tell me it's not the music musicking.
And she said, "Y'all gonna keep listening to that music. Don't get me
Listen,
started."
tell me it's not the music musicking. But I think Cowboy Carter has is a collective. It feels like such a collective of all of her albums. Like you get elements of everything thus far, and it's so you get vocals that reminds you of literally the B Day. You get the energy. Yeah, energy wise is a song from ripped straight out of B Day book. B Day's book, like literally. I mean, you're getting vocally. I think it's their most vocally well-rounded album. You have the
Yeah.
highs, the lows, to many inflections of her voice, but also difference. Like there is nothing that Beyonce knows how to do with her voice that she didn't do on this album. I also love the fuck that. That's why I love Daughter so much because Beehive, we know this. We know the woman does this. But if you're not a true fan, like
Yeah.
you don't know that Beyonce
You
does
needs to
with
be told.
opera and shit. Like, but we know this, and
You
I've
need to
always
hear
said
it in Latin.
that's why they play in her face so much. You know, the girls be trying to like, I tell you what, I've been on Facebook and seen anybody trying to leave her the vocals conversations no more, or question why she's put up there when they see. I ain't seen that since. But we
And
knew
have it.
that, right? If you watch her shows, but only fans go and watch her shows. It's not, I mean, like on you, we only us fans are going to be on YouTube, like know the performances that weren't even televised or all, you know. So the average person is going to miss a lot, and that's with any artist. The average person is going to miss a lot that we fans get to experience and enjoy from our faves. And I've
Yeah.
always said Beyonce. The unfortunate thing about Beyonce, vocally is I always thought she was much stronger on stage than she was on her albums. And I was like, it's a shame because I think that's why people don't be realizing that you can really, really blow because you don't go like even B Day. Like maybe whenever I miss B Day, I go listen to Beyonce Experience because I'm listening when I try to put B Day the album on. I'm listening to songs. I'm singing the live version. I'm doing the live ad libs, the extra shit. I'm like, this is not even a song to me.
Yeah. I'm crying. No, I
So
be listening to B Day. I do.
listen, when I visit, I still visit it, but I go listen to Beyonce Experience to remember some songs on BD. So no, but I think it's just so well rounded. I think Cowboy Carter is so well rounded lyrically. I have no notes. It's the first time I can say so far I have zero notes. I don't. I have nothing that I feel like I would have loved to see her do this. I feel like I'm satisfied lyrically. I'm satisfied at the cohesiveness of the album.
Like you can't and that you it's so full. That's probably the only complaint that you can make is that it's
Yeah,
so
it's
stuffed. But other than that, I mean, I haven't heard one bad song. Even the songs that don't necessarily cling to my ear, it's all excellent work. I think that we should come back for a detailed John John.
oh yeah.
I think that we should come back and do
And one
one
day
that's
we're gonna
like
do
on
Renaissance
point.
because for you to have never done Renaissance, the more I think about it, I'm like, that's atrocious. That is
It
atrocious.
really is crazy because I needed time, like, because that's why I'm saying Cowboy Carter even is still simmering. Renaissance is
So
still
honestly, we can do
the thing that
whichever
I
one you
want
if
to
you
hit.
want to let Cowboy Carter simmer a little bit more and we go back and do Renaissance
We can do
because
Rennie.
it's egregious that you've never done Renaissance. Your depth and insight on Renaissance and after me sitting through everybody else do it, it's egregious. So we have to fix that. That has to be rectified.
No, not
Absolutely.
too much on everybody else. I think that we should set some time up because listen, my edible is starting to hit. My edible is starting to
It
hit.
is your birthday weekend. You're about to get turned. You're about to get live. I love it.
And
I
I'm
love
about to I'm about to take a trip on a little rocket ship. Okay. So
it. I can't
I
wait.
I'm glad we know that this works. We should come back though. We should come
Oh yeah.
back sometime in between the MJ madness because I
Let
do
me
have
know.
time for
I'm
other
here.
things.
Let me know. You
I
know
love
me.
you
I'm
so
always going
much.
to say my schedule. I'm always going to say my schedule, and it's always the ball is always in your court. You say, Mikey, let's
Yes.
go. I send you my schedule. You look on that beat and see sometime and say, Mikey, let's go. It's never
And
going to
will.
be. It's never going to be.
And will.
But this
I
was
love
fun.
you
Oh
so
my god,
much.
this is easy. This is fun. I like it. I
It
love
is
it.
super easy. And that's why I'm like, I just need to start doing it. Even if it's not like the most knockout, bang out thing, just getting into the muscle of getting up and doing it and getting into the tea. Cause we're not gonna stay on Twitter forever. I'll tell you that.
I tell
I'll
you
tell you
that,
that right
child.
now.
Wait, you let this go with this with that nonsense, child.
Yes. But I'm gonna go
And
ahead
this also
and
brings a different energy seeing you. So I love this. Yeah, I love this. Seeing you and talking to you is like more, definitely more
I
fun.
feel like my connection is so bad today, but we'll work on that. We
No
shall work on
problem.
that. But I adore you, Mikey. You gonna sing me happy
Yes,
birthday?
oh my god, enjoy your birthday weekend. You know I'll be catching up with you, but enjoy your birthday weekend.
Yes,
Enjoy the
I
trip.
surely will. I
All right.
surely will. I adore ya.
You
Love
know.
ya. And I don't know how to do this
I don't even know
thing.
how to sign off on this. You
I
know, it's
think
my
I can.
first time.
I'm gonna kick you. I love you. Is that okay? I'm gonna
Okay,
kick
go
you.
ahead.
I'm gonna just say goodbye real quick. Period. So thank you guys so much for coming to my birthday extravaganza. I'm gonna be doing more lives like this. Maybe I'll do one of the events for MJ Hee month. 25 days of MJ. I'll save one of those and I'll do that on YouTube. But I just hope that you guys love over here. I have so much fun doing it. Thank you everybody who came through, who liked, who loved, who asked a question. And for anybody who, came to celebrate my birthday with me. I'm gonna go ahead and go and finish off this little bottle, finish off this little cigarette. And yeah, enjoy my weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to be running around and Monday I'm going to be running around, but I wanted to spend some time on Saturday with y'all. Just make sure you guys are over. Thank you so much, Beanbag. Make sure that you guys are over on Twitter following the 25 days of MJ hashtag for my events. Make sure that you guys are following the 25 days of Michael hashtag for the art challenge that Beanbag put together. Join the Hee headquarters Discord. And I will be posting the dates for everything. Like I said, everything is coming together. I'm starting to solidify things with people. It's just been a busy few weeks. I wasn't able to do it by June 1. But before June done, y'all gonna get the dates. I love y'all so much. Y'all gonna see me on the timeline. I'm gonna be loud as fuck, be on all weekend. But if y'all don't see me again before I turn 20 some, I love y'all. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for being a part of my year. And I'm gonna go. Arrivederci. And then over here, I think I'm live in 2 places.